All right, day one. I had some ideas of what kind of numbers I wanted to hit. I wasn't testing what I was going to do. I knew what I was going to do. Now, I have a lot of anxiety towards starting strength in terms of the sessions are fucking hard, man. And I knew once I started, there'd be no turning back. So I actually skipped the first day and moved it on to the next day because I was just procrastinating going to the gym. But anyway, we're working up to 85 kg. If you look at my depth, you'll see that my hips always go below like my knee position. That's what I'm looking for on every single weight. And another thing I'm looking for is when I go down, and you're going to see the mistake here, you can see my back angle lowers a bit when I start to come back up. And that's because my back isn't tight, right? So I caught it on that first rep and I told myself, right, tighten your core more. Don't let your back fold on the way back up. We want to maintain the exact same back angle. That's how we're going to make sure that my lower back isn't doing more of the lifting than it needs to, right? It should just fix my back at that angle so that my glutes and my quads have a better leverage lifting the bar up and that there's no energy leak. That's it. That's the only job the back's meant to do. If I end up doing like a good morning, I'm going to have a sore back. And then the next session is going to be really tough because when your back's sore, for some reason it just takes longer to recover. And it really affects your ability to train. And then on top of that, what was the injury? I tore a disc in my vertebrae. So I'm very conscious of my back being sore and training with a sore back because it could kind of set it off easily. So I do want to hit the numbers. I do want to push it with the squat at least, but it needs to be tight. I can't be letting the back take up all of the effort. So that's the focus. You can see like on the way down, I'm a little bit wobbly. My knees are kind of wobbling a bit. My glutes aren't as strong as they used to be. They're not controlling the movement. That's because the only thing I'm thinking about is the back angle and the tightness in my back and in my core, because that's the priority, fixing the injury. And then afterwards, once I'm used to that, we'll go back to making sure that my knees aren't moving all over the place like that and trying to make sure my glutes are predominantly lifting me up out of the hole. Now you can see my back angle is not really changing like it was before. You can tell from the speed of the bar as soon as I push back up, right? If the bar starts going up and it's going up at the same speed that my butt is moving up, then I've done a good job at staying tight. If you can see a lot of movement in my hips and my glutes going up and the bar's barely moving with it, that means that all I'm really doing, I'm just shoving my hips up, but I'm folding my chest down, and then I end up having to use my back to lift the bar up and get it back at the same angle that it was before. But squat was tough. Yeah, it was tough. I took a 10-minute rest in between the first and the second set, just because I could feel it in my lower back and I didn't want to risk it. And I literally haven't squatted in like a year because this injury has been pretty rough. Onto bench. I have been benching, but my bench isn't that strong. I think we're on 75 today. Normal rest time, like 5 minutes in between. That's what I go for when I'm training for strength. Nothing really much to say about the bench other than I've been able to widen my grip. Before, when I used to widen my grip, I'd get a lot of shoulder pain, sort of like an impingement, but I don't really get that anymore. And I've learned to sort of use my chest as opposed to just pushing the bar up with my triceps only and my shoulders, which is what I was doing before. So once we start getting to a strong number, I think it'll be worth it. You'll see my chest is going to grow better than it was before. You can see me sitting here. I think I did 4 reps instead of 5. And I didn't want to like not hit my numbers, so I just took like a minute to sit down, compose myself, get the extra rep. I think I did that for the first set, and I did it for the last set. That's literally it. But yeah, there's really not much to talk about bench. I think I'm going to be doing it 2 times a week. Before I was doing it 2 times, and then the next week I'd do it 1 time, and I'd alternate. I think bench needs a bit more volume, a bit more focus, so I'm going to be on it 2 times a week. If I can sneak in weighted dips in between, I'll try my best, but I don't want it to interfere with my workout, with my following workout. So if I know I've got 3 days rest, maybe I'll do some weighted dips on like an off day, but Other than that, the focus is on bench, and then I'm going to do shoulder work, so handstand push-up progressions. In the calisthenics realm, I'll show you guys that in the next video. And then coming up after this is deadlift. Man, I'm in two minds with deadlift. Like, I'm really excited because deadlift's my favorite exercise, but I'm really scared because my back injury was like, if I tweak my back again today, I might slip into depression. Like, literally, I don't know what to do with myself when my back's like that. I can't exercise the way I like. I can't do the sports I like. I can't live normal life. Sometimes I'd just sit down and my back would go and I'd be stuck. I couldn't move for like 20 minutes. It was really bad. Really, really, really bad. So I'm excited to try. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get a tweak, but it's just about making sure that I don't push it too far, if that makes sense. Like, I know I can get carried away. I'm going to want to do the weights that I used to do before. I'm going into it telling myself I'm only going for 105. I'm sure my body's strong enough and my mind is able to try hard enough to push for much heavier than that, but I don't want to risk an injury. So instead, I'm being very, very strict, right? So if I said I'm going to do that weight, that's the weight I'm going to do. And I'm not allowed to freestyle on the day. I'm going into every session knowing exactly what weight I'm going to lift for exactly how many reps. The only thing that really changes is the warm-up. I can freestyle that, and I can freestyle the time in between sets. But the reps I'm going to do. There's nothing that's going to change that. I'm always going to do the reps I do, because that's the difference between training and exercising, right? This is a training plan. I've written it out in a realistic way that it's something I can manage. I know I can as long as I eat. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to decide on the day, I'm not feeling up to it, I can't be bothered. I'm going to try. And then even if I try and fail, that's valuable information, as opposed to just like not trying and not knowing whether you could have done it or not. It's funny, this weighted belt, I've lost so much weight that it barely fits. I'm on the earliest pinch hole on the pin thing. And even then it doesn't feel that tight. So I need to put on a little kilo or something before this belt starts being really useful. But in my warm-up, I was getting worried because it was feeling really light and I could feel myself wanting to try heavier. But by the time I did 100 kg, I realized, this is actually a decent weight for me to start off with. I think you're going to see me do 3 reps. And then when I go for the 4th rep, it was difficult. And I'm not playing around at all with this back injury. As soon as I felt it was difficult, I said, that's fine. I'm going to rest. I think I rest like a minute. I'm not going to show you that. And then I get my other 2. Simple as that. It feels good to be back filming these, man. All that's left is I'm going to film a little food video, talk about my strategy in gaining weight. That's going to be a separate video, so I'll see you guys then.